Miss Rucker spends all day planning, working, worrying. If only she'd spend part of her day cleaning up after herself. I wish they'd tell us what all of those construction workers are up to.
If I can.
Look at what a mess they're making.
Well, she did mention needing some help with something for the clinic.
Ah, I see. Certainly.
And Sophie's starting her donation drive today.
The lovely Miss Wagner's charitable efforts. Yes, I hadn't forgotten.
And Esme's got something going on in the kitchen she could use a hand with.
Well, I shall certainly see what I can do about that. I'm sure I can arrange some assistance in these matters.
Mr. Della Ripa only likes to
Sorry,
organize
I'm not much for
stuff.
conversation.
Nothing else.
Allison talked my ear off.
If only he would dust those shelves of
Robot
his.
butlers? Is this a refuge or a palace? I heard there's a chess set around here if you ever want to play.
How rude. Oh, how are we going to accommodate so many guests? Hey,
If you hang around those raiders, I want nothing to do with you.
The White Springs decor is refined and decadent. Don't listen to any naysayers.
Need anything? Foundation doing?
Only likes to organize
If I wasn't so
himself.
busy,
Nothing
I'd go
else.
visit sometime.
Oh, if only he would dust those shelves of his. That
Check in with the medics if you're feeling under the weather.
chassis on the way in. How rude.
Sorry, I'm not much for conversation. Allison talked my ear off.
Oh,
Well, hello, darling. A pleasure to meet another guest of our fine establishment. I am Orlando, your host and management liaison. If you'll pardon me for just one moment. That will be all. Please give my regards to Ms. Rucker. If you are here for leisure, I regret to inform you that our regular resort activities are temporarily unavailable. However, if you are here for the refuge and the fine work of the lovely responders, I am delighted to welcome you on their behalf. Yes, I believe the originals had been. Quite a tragic tale. Such a noble endeavor. Fortunately, their ideals and organization have been revived, and this refuge is their new home. If I may be totally honest with you, dear, I have heard others use the Responder's name as well, to be fair. But I think Appalachia could always use more people with such altruistic goals, so that's all right. I'm sure you agree.
I wish they'd tell us what all of those construction workers are up to. Look at what a mess
Are
they're
you
making.
really, dear? How marvelous! In that case, I'm sure you can't wait to get involved here. Ah, perhaps you have not heard. The White Spring is now home to the Refuge, a place of safety and care for all in need. The Refuge is being run by the Responders, individuals committed to the well-being of their fellows. They founded the Refuge in response to new waves of refugees coming to Appalachia, people in great need of help. Food, medical care, clothing, a place to sleep. All of these are available for those who need them.
Telling me they'd reprogram me if I'm not more positive.
What a wonderful thing for you to ask, darling. I knew there was something special about you from the moment I saw you. As it happens, the responders are looking for volunteers to assist them in a particular outreach effort. Those industrious wonders have repaired a vertibird to full working order and are using it to make contact with more distant settlements. They've made allies with people in Pittsburgh. The locals call it the Pit now, who seem to be in dire need of outside assistance. If you don't mind me saying so, you look like you can handle yourself. You might be just who they're looking for. Judging by what I've heard, it's an accurate one, sadly. Pittsburgh was bombed quite severely during the war. The poor individuals still living there have renamed it to better reflect its dreadful circumstances. They call themselves the Union. Something of a resistance movement, I understand, against more aggressive forces. One of their representatives is currently staying with us, a Mr. Skippy Rorich. Delightful man. Indeed, isn't that marvelous? They salvaged it and painstakingly repaired it. It's fully functional now. I was very pleased to be able to contribute to this effort in my own small way. If you wish to see it, it resides on the roof of the refuge between flights, along with its charming pilot, Ms. Lennox.
Mr. Della Ripa only likes to organize his stamps. Nothing else.
Well, they'll be better able to explain the details, but I believe they're looking for fighters, actually. Their contacts in the Pit are in something of a desperate situation, it seems, against a dangerous enemy. I hate the thought of you putting yourself in such danger, but it does appear to be for a good cause. Oh, you're terribly brave, aren't you, dear? Imagine if we all had such courage. Now, darling, before anybody bundles you off, the first thing you should do is introduce yourself to some of the responders. I just so happen to know a few in need of more local assistance, and helping them will earn you the other thing you'll need. That other thing, of course, being the ultrasight battery cells, which fuel the vertibird. Ultracells, if you prefer.
Is refined and decadent. Don't listen to any naysayers.
Why, from me, of course. Rather, from the management via me, that is. When management heard the responders were restoring the vertibird, they wished to help. They provided the ultracells, and I suggested them to the responders as an alternative means of fueling the vertibird. Per management instructions, I distribute a quantity to certain individuals regularly. Management feels this encourages collective decision-making rather than stockpiling. I'm sure they'd be willing to part with them in exchange for your aid. I could not possibly speak to your experience, dear. It sounds remarkable to make such discoveries. All I can tell you is that the management provides them for the refuge. Regrettably, that is as much as I know of the matter. I might wager that whomever was behind the ultracell you discovered likely shared similar contacts with management at some point, but who can say? My dear, you must understand, much as I would like to, my responsibilities do not permit me to do so. I am but a humble employee of the management, and I distribute their resources as instructed to the letter. I hope you will not begrudge me my loyalty. I find myself quite fond of you already. In an ideal world, darling, I'm sure they would. Sadly, this is not that world, and any reticence on their part is understandable. I don't want to speak for the responders, but I believe they may also see this as more for their union friends than for themselves. Your assistance with their more immediate concerns will ensure everyone benefits. Isn't that a good outcome? Our lovely Ms. Rucker is the closest thing to a leader the Refuge has, though I believe she's less than comfortable with the title. You can find her in their headquarters, beyond the dining area. The darling chef, Miss Rousseau, needs some assistance in the kitchen, I hear. And Ms. Wagner, over in the common area, is looking for donations. I'm sure your generosity will be well rewarded. Wonderful, my dear. I'm certain you will be a tremendous help to them and the Refuge. When you are finished with each of them, I recommend you speak with Mr. Skippy Rorich, the pit union representative. I imagine he'll want to discuss the situation in the pit with you before you embark. Do feel free to visit me at your leisure if you wish to chat. I have an office in the management wing. You can't miss it.